This year's World Cup in Qatar is estimated to have cost the country $220 billion, or 3 loaves of bread and a slab of butter in today's inflation-adjusted terms, but this staggering amount of money could not just be thrown away likely or did on his yacht right from empty stadiums to subpar accommodations, and of course, no beer. The World Cup in Qatar has been shrouded by uncountable amounts of corruption. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell. In today's video we will talk about how much money will Qatar make through the biggest sports event in the world. Number 10. Qatar hopes to increase international visitor arrivals from 2.1 million in 2019 to 6 million by the year 2030 by using the event as a platform to showcase its services. Along with a major boost to their GDP of $17 billion, a surge in PR is also anticipated. The fact that Qatar's stock market has outperformed its peers year to date in 2022 is evidence that the World Cup has benefited the country. It is anticipated that these figures will somewhat stabilize and continue to grow at a steady rate in the years after the World Cup itself. Number 9. It is anticipated that 1.5 million people will visit Qatar, whose current population pre-World Cup was double that at 3 million. But how Qatar tackled this problem leaves probably the most questions, and it definitely wasn't down to bribery. They built 31,000 hotel rooms, they had 3 cruise ships serving as floating hotels, providing thousands more rooms at a cheap $470 a night. Number 8. First, the country's capital of Doha received a brand new metro system for $40 billion for the subways alone. Additionally, an expressway there was built for $8 billion. Next, the new Hamad International Airport was built for $23.5 billion. Finally, 7 new stadiums were built from the ground up for $6.5 billion. Number 7. CCO at the World Cup Fatima Al previously stated that the majority of the infrastructure projects that teams and fans will benefit from in the 2022 World Cup, such as the roads, metro, airport, hotels and other tourist facilities, were planned way before they received the right to host the current World Cup. However, the Football Cup has undoubtedly sped up these developments so that the country can host the 1.5 million fans that they anticipate in 2022. Number 6. The World Cup is in line with the larger Qatar national vision, whose major objective is to make Qatar an evolved society capable of self-sufficiency by 2030. The new is split into 4 distinct sections. First and foremost, the economic component, which focuses on transforming the nation from a developing one that can support itself to a raw one, and secondly, the human development component, which focuses on bettering healthcare and education. The environment is the subject of the 3rd section. Number 5. To put Qatar's wealth into perspective, the country has vast oil and gas reserves, and in 2021, the average GDP per person worldwide was $12,263, but the country's GDP was an astounding $62,000 per person. Number 4. The 2014 Brazilian World Cup was the most costly World Cup, costing Brazil a staggering $15 billion to host. However, Qatar has completely shattered that record, spending a total of $220 billion, yes, billion with a B, to host the tournament. Number 3. The World Cup is selected by FIFA through a straightforward bidding process that starts 7 to 10 years before it is scheduled to take place. These buildings are completed early because hosting the World Cup requires a country to have infrastructure in place. As for Qatar, when it was given the World Cup back in 2010, commercial factors set up accommodations, aspects set up logistical resources, and of course the main stadium. Number 2. Maradona cheated England. With a current viewership of 8 billion people, imagine that more than half of the world is interested in watching 22 fully grown men pretend to be injured for 90 minutes. The estimated peak viewership of the World Cup in Qatar will be around 5 billion people worldwide. Number 1. The FIFA World Cup is by far the biggest sporting event the world has to offer in 2018. However, Qatar is currently $220 billion in the hole and appears to have thrown all of its money away. However, if you look a little closer, Qatar may even be able to turn a profit from hosting the World Cup. More than half of the world's population, or 26 billion spectators, watched the World Cup that year. That's it for today. Please share and subscribe, and press the bell icon for more updates.